Good evening. Breaking news tonight from Washington: President Trump has issued a stark ultimatum to two of America's oldest NATO allies. U.S. troops stationed in Italy and Spain could be coming home, and the fallout is already shaking European capitals to their core. The threat came swiftly and without warning. President Trump announced today that his administration will conduct a comprehensive review of American military presence across Europe, specifically targeting bases in Italy and Spain. The move appears to be direct retaliation after senior officials from both countries publicly criticized the ongoing U.S.-Israeli military campaign against Iran. Trump made it clear, if European allies won't support American foreign policy decisions, they can't expect American soldiers protecting their soil. The president doubled down on his America First doctrine, suggesting that decades-old security arrangements are no longer sacred if they don't serve immediate U.S. interests. This isn't happening in a vacuum. The United States currently maintains approximately 12,000 troops in Italy, including crucial naval air station Sigonella in Sicily and the army garrison in Vicenza. Spain hosts around 3,000 American personnel, centered at Naval Station Rota, a strategic hub for U.S. Mediterranean operations and a critical refueling point for ships and aircraft. These aren't just symbolic presences. These bases form the backbone of American power projection into the Middle East, Africa, and the Mediterranean. They've been cornerstones of NATO's southern flank since the Cold War. The criticism Trump is responding to focused on the legality and proportionality of strikes against Iranian targets, with Italian Foreign Minister Antonio Tajani and Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez both questioning whether the military action violated international law. For Trump, this represented an unacceptable breach of alliance solidarity during wartime operations. The reaction across Europe has been swift and alarmed. NATO headquarters in Brussels issued a carefully worded statement emphasizing the importance of transatlantic unity while avoiding direct criticism of the president. Behind closed doors, European defense ministers are reportedly in crisis talks. Germany's chancellor expressed concern about fracturing the alliance at a moment when security threats from Russia remain acute. Military analysts warn that withdrawing from Italy and Spain wouldn't just impact those two countries. It would fundamentally reshape America's ability to respond to crises across three continents. Meanwhile, the Kremlin has remained conspicuously silent, though Russian state media is celebrating what they're calling the inevitable collapse of NATO unity. On the ground, American service members and their families stationed in these countries are in limbo, awaiting orders that could uproot their lives within months. What happens next depends on whether this is genuine policy or negotiating pressure. The Pentagon will now conduct its review, a process that could take months or be rushed through in weeks depending on presidential directives. Watch for emergency NATO meetings and whether Italy and Spain walk back their criticism or double down on principle. Congress could also intervene, as troop withdrawals of this magnitude typically require legislative consultation. The bigger question: will other European nations self-censor their foreign policy positions to avoid becoming the next target? This is more than a diplomatic spat. It's a fundamental test of whether the Atlantic Alliance can survive an era when loyalty is transactional and criticism carries an immediate price. Stay informed. Stay ahead. This is Viral News Hourly.